Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about the match between Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. But in order for us to speak about that game, I also want to give out some context, right, on how Barcelona played against Sevilla, because I believe that a lot of the things that happen in this match is going to translate towards the match against Bayern Munich, because I believe that Hansi Flick is going to go out with the exact same game plan. Whatever good came from the match against Sevilla will be going on to the match against Bayern Munich. So this video is going to be about a mix between the Barcelona versus Sevilla match and a pre-match preview to Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. So currently, how do Barcelona line up? As we can see here in the match against Sevilla, Barcelona did use a 2-3-5 formation every time they were in possession. Balde went up top to go and join the attack, while the back two was Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez. Pedri was the one controlling the midfield and keeping a very high line. And because Barcelona's high line was so effective and with such focus, Sevilla in this match only completed 13 passes in the final third. And again, mainly because Barcelona's players were positioned very high and they counterpressed, they pressed, they anticipated the ball very well. And Sevilla were just gassed out with no ideas. Every time they got the ball, within a span of 1 to 2 seconds, they lose the ball immediately. They had no answers. Barcelona are probably the best, I'm not going to say probably, I'm going to say the best team in the league and probably in Europe when it comes to putting pressure on the ball 100% of the time. They are relentless. These players are positioned so high. I would even say that Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez, who are the only two players at the back, are almost acting like holding midfielders. Because of their great ball technique, they are able to act like defensive midfielders, very similar to Sergio Busquets. They filter the ball, whether it's on the left side, right side, or through the middle. So we almost do have a total of 4 to 5 midfielders playing simultaneously. I believe that a lot of this is going to be very important to how Barcelona do face against Bayern Munich. It was calculated that Barcelona do have the highest defensive line, defending as the furthest team up top with a total of 56 meters up the field. They have recovered 56 out of 90 balls in Sevilla's half. And here's what does get very interesting. 56 of those recoveries, according to Y-Scout, came from Pedri and Casado. Casado owned a total of 8 recoveries from that 56, and Pedri owned 7 recoveries from that 56, which was a total of 15 recoveries coming from between Casado and Pedri. Casado and Pedri were the two players that recovered the most. Hansi Flick understands these two players the most, and that is why we do see these two players take the ball away from the opposition in a very effective way. Casado, to me, has been probably one of the most important players for Barcelona this season, and I believe he is going to go down as probably the most exciting player this season. Casado is becoming what we all thought a player like Oriol Romeu was supposed to be like last season. Casado, if anything, is getting better than most midfielders right now. There is no way a player like Frankie can bench Casado. There is no way a player like Eric Garcia, who also plays in the defensive midfield position, that can bench Casado. Casado owns that position. Casado, for some reason, always has this idea, right? Like, he always just knows exactly where to be at to cause the most danger. Every time he sees like a play going on, he positions himself in the exact place where he needs to be the most effective, to take the ball away. And I'm like, bro, how do you know the ball was going to go there? How do you know the player was going to move the ball this way or that way? You're always like just intercepting. I don't know what it is, but I believe that things like this and what Casado does bring, it cannot be taught. Like, he anticipates everything very well. I don't know if Hansi Flick is like compacting these players to like get closer and maybe have a better chance of intercepting the ball, but whatever it is, Casado is a master at that. No other player can do better at what he does. Maybe Gavi, we'll see how Gavi does within these next 4 to 5 matches, but right now Casado is the best at what he does, which is to intercept and anticipate the ball and disrupt play from the opposition. So to me, Casado has to be a starter against Bayern Munich. And to me, there is no such thing as Frankie de Jong benching Casado just because Frankie is 27, 28 years old, or because he has more experience. No, not a chance, bro. I'm sorry. Like, Ronald Koeman, bro, you are in the mud. You are cooked. I am sorry. I know that Frankie is your favorite player, but bro, Casado is just levels above Frankie at this moment. Casado will be starting against Bayern, and I don't even think Frankie will see the field unless Casado does get injured, and hopefully not, right? Knock on wood. Here is going to be another thing that I do want to answer. There was somebody on the Discord group chat that asked, I have this question. Do you think Barcelona has lost its Barcelona style of playing football? Like, keeping the possession is still there, but counter style of playing, I don't think it was our style. And the way our defense works now, we are making more offside traps than ever before. So it is, I think, very different from our previous styles. But I want to know your opinion on this. A video explaining the tactics of this Barcelona would be very great. Thanks. And this is coming from DTXEW. I'm pretty sure that there's a way to like say this, but I don't want to butcher this name, but yeah. I also want to shout out, this person here who asked this question, because he is also somebody that does organize my Discord. So if you guys do want to join our Discord, go on there. There's going to be a link down below. Just click on it, accept the invite, and you'll be set and done from there. Once again, this guy right here, the one who asked the question, he is the one that organized everything for me. So thank you, bro. I really do appreciate it. And I also do appreciate your question. But yeah, right, like this whole thing about what is Barcelona's style of play, I would say that it is basically everything. Like, I know that every team likes to find their style, their way of playing, but this version of Barcelona under Hansi does reflect many different style of plays. Like, we are so adaptable, so dynamic, so flexible. There is no really a definitive style of play. We adapt to whatever's going on in our environment. And what's so crazy about this is that Barcelona, while they do play in very different styles, they win convincingly. And we won against Sevilla 5-1. We can definitely do the exact same thing against Bayern Munich. We had 67% of the possession. You would assume that if we had no style, we would have no possession because we wouldn't even know how to play. But we do. And let me tell you, the one thing that they are very good at is the counter attacks. I'm telling you guys right now, the counter attacks of Barcelona has been worked on so perfectly. I'm like, bro, thank you, Hansi, for instilling this back into this club. We're also a team that knows how to maintain possession, circulate the ball, counter attack. We have a high line. It's also implemented very well. Xavi Hernandez also had this type of idea, so nothing really changed there. It's just that Hansi Flick organizes the players much better. They're much more well trained. So this team, it does embrace many different styles, all styles, because they're capable, because these players are good enough. Hansi Flick, if anything, is complimenting these players by not limiting them, by saying, hey, look, you guys are good enough. You guys know exactly what to do. You guys have great ball technique. You guys are here for a reason. So we're going to be bringing all styles because you guys can. Not many players can, but you guys like Cubarsí, Lamine, Hector Fort, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Pedri, Casado, Gavi, you guys can. You guys are more than capable, which is why we're going to be instilling all styles, making us very unpredictable to any opposition. So to me, it is Hansi Flick complimenting the players and telling them you can play way more than with just one style. I mean, go look at how Barcelona scored their second goal against Sevilla. It all started with Pedri intercepting the ball, right? Because he was hustling, he was focused, he gained the ball. Lewandowski eventually got the ball, and it only took about 3 passes to score. Rafinha was positioned very centrally, causing more problems to the opposition. Pedri was the one in that gameplay that stood out the most because he recovered the ball. He was the team's engine, and he continued to recover the ball with a total of 9 times through the match. I don't know if you guys also remember that gameplay where Cubarsí had the ball after getting the ball away from Sevilla. He was all the way at the back, all the way in the defensive third, right? We're talking about a whole different other scenario compared to how Barcelona scored their second goal. Cubarsí was all the way at the back. He found Rafinha. Rafinha passes it towards Lamine Yamal. Boom, one touch, boom, another touch back to Rafinha. Rafinha goes into space with the ball. We're on the counter attack within a span of 3 to 4 seconds, maybe even less. Barcelona is dangerous in every area on the pitch is what I'm getting at. We can adapt. And so because of this, Barcelona is one of the top goal scoring teams in the world. Hansi Flick has also put himself out there in terms of one of the top managers when it comes to how many goals can you score within your first 10 La Liga matches. Right now, Pep Guardiola is the number 1 with a total of 34 goals. Zidane comes in second place, which is tied to Guardiola with a total of 34 goals, and Hansi Flick is just below Zidane and Guardiola with a total of 33 goals scored in the first 10 La Liga matches. And this is according to Opta. So knowing this, right, knowing how dangerous Barcelona will be, how could Barcelona line up against Bayern Munich? What is going to be one of the ways we could tackle Bayern that would allow us to score some goals? Now here's the thing. I believe that Bayern and Barcelona are very much alike, and especially this season. If you want to talk about the top goal scoring teams this season, it is Bayern and Barcelona. If you want to talk about who implements very high defensive lines, presses aggressively, it is Bayern and also FC Barcelona. If you want to talk about having a very well-oiled machine in the midfield and effective wingers, it is Bayern and Barcelona. So it is going to be a very entertaining match, a match that I believe is going to end on high goals. It could be a 3-2, it could be a 2-1, it could be a 3-4. All of this is very much possible. So this is going to be a very dangerous game. It's going to be a high risk, high reward for both teams. There is no other way. Now, in terms of analyzing Bayern Munich, it has been said that Musiala is eager to play against Barcelona on Wednesday, and he's working very hard to make his comeback. Like, he wants to be there against Barcelona. And then as regards to his future, there has been strong indications that Musiala will extend his contract at Bayern until 2029 or 2030. All parties are optimistic that an agreement will be reached. And so there you have it. As for me, this screws up my whole day because I have always wanted Musiala to join Barcelona. I want Musiala to join us, to play on the left wing, to join Lewandowski, to join Lamine Yamal with Pedri and Gavi, and join this party that we are creating at Barcelona. But it looks like Musiala will be extending with Bayern. I'm pissed now. Now I don't even want Musiala to play against us tomorrow. I don't want to see him, bro. You're a traitor. I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm probably not even allowed to say that because I don't even know if you like Barcelona that much. Maybe you just like Bayern Munich way more, and I'm just being hard-headed. But still, it just sucks to hear that Musiala might be extending with Bayern. Now we have to be very careful because it has also been claimed, and it is official, that the Slovenian referee Slavko will be the referee for the Barcelona versus Bayern match on Wednesday. What does this mean, Kevin? It basically means that we're getting the exact same referee that refereed the match between Barcelona and Inter Milan back in the 2022-2023 season again. game that had many controversial decisions that went against Barcelona. For example, Ansu Fati's header that went straight to Dumfries' handball. We had this other player from Inter Milan that tackled Busquets so hard. I'm like, bro, like what is this? Where is the punishment? And so we have to be very careful if this is going to be the exact same guy that screwed us over 2 years ago against Inter Milan. Going back to Barcelona, Eric Garcia is rolled out against Bayern Munich and it will be back against Real Madrid later down this week on Saturday, meaning that we're not going to be seeing a double pivot of Eric Garcia and Casado with Pedri as the number 10, most likely, right? And due to the fact that Eric Garcia is now out, it is going to allow for Olmo to be starting against Bayern Munich. At least that is what I'm predicting, because who else are going to be putting in that position? I mean, I wouldn't mind to have Fermin Lopez in Olmo's position, but I think that somebody like Olmo, who's very experienced on knowing what it's like to play against Bayern, is going to be very much appreciated. So I think that we will be having a back four of Koundé, Inigo Martinez, Kubarsi, and Balde with Peña in the goal. Hansi Flick has made it very clear that he does trust Peña, so I hope that he does well. I'm a little nervous, but I hope that he does well, okay? As for the double pivot, it is Pedri and Casado, a double pivot that has worked wonders for us. Clearly, Casado is Hansi Flick's favorite. Joan Laporta and Hansi Flick spoke highly of Casado before the season even started, and they said that, you know, Casado has been doing amazing work during the preseason training, and now we're here today, Casado almost being immovable, and with Casado with all the confidence in the world. And then we're going to be having Dani Olmo right in front of Pedri and Casado, with our wings being Lamine Yamal and Rafinha as expected, with Lewandowski up top. It has to be those three players, Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Yamal, are literally the best front three in the world, stats-wise. And now they're going to be having their biggest test yet. Can the biggest front three in the world right now, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha, defeat Bayern Munich and get the job done and score goals? Because that is when we are going to need them the most. It is what makes a front three very famous. The MSN stood out. The BBC stood out. Now we're going to need the whatever the hell this front three is called. I don't know if it's YLR or RLY or LYR. It has no aura, bro. Like when I hear this, I'm like, bro, it doesn't hit the same compared to MSN. But still, Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha, we hope that you get the job done. Let's work together. Let's have Olmo implemented as fast as possible in the same rhythm with us. And I believe that Barcelona in the end can get the win. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.